Okay, because I know you're working so hard and I know it would be helpful, I'm gonna do a video of today's warm-up, which was like a quiz review warm-up. These problems are not in your packet. So what I really suggest you do is pause the video, write down number 1, do it, unpause the video, watch me do the solution and see if you got it right. Pause the video, write down number 2, do the problem, unpause, check, and do that for all 10 questions to make sure you can do all of these independently with no help before the quiz tomorrow. All right, here we go for number 1. I see that we have 5 to the 6x, which is like an a to the u, an exponential. So that's this first rule. U is 6x, so u prime is 6. So the derivative for number 1 is ln a, which is 5, times a to the u times u prime. This order is fine, it's all multiplied. Remember, our quiz is multiple choice, so if I have the answer in a different order, like 6 ln 5 times 5 to the 6x, I could do all the parentheses, or I could do dots. Any answer with that multiplication, with those 3 terms multiplied, would be the answer. For number 2, it's another a to the u. Oh, sorry. Pause the video. Write down number 2. Okay. It's an a to the u. U is 3x minus 2. So u prime is 3. So we're going to do ln of a, which is 5, times a to the u times u prime. All right, for 3, we've got e to the u, which is over here. So that's e to the u, u prime. So in 3, u is negative 4x. So u prime is negative 4. If you haven't paused the video to try this one, do that now. So I've got e to the u times u prime. So that's negative 4 e to the negative 4x. And let's just say, just in case I change it in the multiple choice answers or whoever makes the quiz, the negative exponent could also move to the denominator. So just this term with the negative exponent would move. Okay, pause the video, write down number 4. U is x squared, so u prime is 2x. So that's u prime e to the u. Now in 5, the coefficient always carries over to your answer. So that's the first thing I do, is write the coefficient in the first step of my answer. Then I've got e to the u. So we've got u prime e to the u, and then I'll multiply the 3 and 6 for my final answer. Okay, so 6 is an ln. So we've got, oh, here's the rule, 1 over u times u prime, or I can make that one fraction and make it u prime over u. The way these rules are exactly typed here is how they are on your quiz and will be on your test. So it's important that you understand this notation, or you can modify it to the way that you like when you get your quiz. Okay, so in this case, u is x to the 3rd plus 2. So u prime is 3x squared. So I'm going to do u prime divided by u. And that is our answer. Now 7 and 8 is a function times a function. So that's a product rule. Same thing with 8. So for 7, I like to set up my 2 functions on the left side of my box here. So e to the x and ln negative x. And then individually do the derivatives. Negative divided by negative is positive. So this is f prime and g prime. So if you look at the product rule, it's f prime g. So I'm going to do f prime g plus g prime f, and then which is this way. So the derivative is ln of negative x times e to the x. It's just easier to put the e first. Plus e to the x times 1 over x. Both of those terms share in e to the x, so I can factor it out. And that would be here, would be the final multiple choice answer. Do the same thing for 8. I've got f of x and g of x. Individually take the derivatives. So this is like ln of u. So this one's the u. So u prime is 1 over u is x. All right, so the derivative is 6x squared times ln x plus 2x to the third plus 3 times 1 over x. Uh-oh, I don't have enough room. So then in my final answer, I'm going to combine this fraction. So 2x to the third plus 3 is in the numerator and x is in the denominator. Because you multiply numerators, multiply denominators. Okay, 9 and 10, we've got quotient rules. You can use the f and g, but you have to pay attention to what is in the numerator and what is in the denominator. I like to call it high and low. And that way I don't have to remember where each part is. So let me do number 9 over here. So I've got high and low, and the derivative of the top, or the numerator, and the derivative of the denominator. So my calculus teacher, Mr. Adams, taught me that the derivative of a quotient is low d high minus high d low all over low low. Sorry, you couldn't see some of that. So I've got high and low, d high and d low, d for derivative. If you want to think of the quotient rule with the f and g, this is f and g, f prime and g prime. But you just have to remember which order the numerator and denominator is in. All right, so to finish then my derivative here, make sure you can see it on video. It's going to be the denominator times the derivative of the numerator, but I like to put that e to the x first. Subtraction, you have to be careful with that. Okay, so there's all of the pieces plugged in. The numerator, both terms share in e to the x, so I'm going to factor that out. And then this is an okay final answer. That quadratic not being in standard form, I would never have an answer choice that way. So I'm going to reorganize it. And that would be our answer. You could multiply the denominator, do x squared minus 1 times itself. I'm just going to leave it like that. All right, one more. Number 10 is another quotient rule. Pause the video and try it. Sorry, there's the question. 2x plus 1 is in the numerator, and x minus 5 is in the denominator. Need individual derivatives. So I've got low d high minus high d low all over low low. Distribute the 2, and then you have to be really, really careful. It's a negative that gets distributed. So then the numerator, 2x minus 2x is 0. Negative 10 minus 1 is negative 11. And then x minus 5 squared in the denominator. You know what? For this one, I'll multiply that out just to show you. Squared means times itself. So you can FOIL, box method, distribute, whatever your multiplication preference is. So x times x, -5 times x, -5 times x, and -5 times -5. So then the denominator as a trinomial is x squared minus 10x plus 25. Make sure to practice to study for the quiz.